Hello everyone, welcome back to another pick a card reading. I am Cheryl Lee Harnish, hi, and I am the author of the deck that we're going to be using today, the Divine Guidance deck. And I have some good news. I have finished my website completely. I am able to take bookings for private and personal readings. I'm so excited. Go easy on me. I'm gonna do my best to not burn out, so I'm only doing a limited number of readings each week. So, and if you're from Asia or India and you want to book with me, use my contact form. All the information is down below because you guys need special appointment times for us to be able to connect. Okay, so today's reading. Oh, no. Never forget who you're grateful to. And I am absolutely, totally grateful to everyone who sent me a super thanks and a PayPal, bought me coffee through PayPal. It means the world to me. It really does. And I truly appreciate it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, so today's reading is Matters of the Heart. And when I say that, we're not doing just a relationship reading like, is he going to unblock me? I don't do those kind of readings. This is matters of the heart. Like, what does Spirit have to say to you about your relationships? How you're making them, how you're keeping them or not keeping them or not making them. And it can be any from like work relationships right into your deepest personal relationships with your partners and best friends. So I'm excited to see what they have to say. And for our choices, we're going to use your favorite. This seems to be a fan favorite here. We are going to do this by sound. So this will be 1, 2, and 3. Now what I'm going to get you to do, if you're new and you haven't done this before, just take a breath, relax, and I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just listen to the sound and which one like lights you up when you hear it, okay? So go ahead, close your eyes, and we'll start with okay, that's number 1. All right, number 2. Okay, and then number 3. Okay, so each one of these sounds does something completely different to your energy. So it's going to be interesting to see which one you guys pick, which one is the fan favorite. Anyhow, you take a minute, replay it, the sounds if you need to make your choice. And I am going to get us started in our readings. Hello, group 1. Okay, so what? Oh, that one almost came out. I think we should take it, shouldn't we? Look at it. It's just sticking out there. It's begging to be taken. Yeah. Okay. First card out. Earth Angel. There's some cards that just, they're hot cards, and it's almost like the group consciousness just draws these cards out of the deck because there's cards in here that haven't come out in literally years. So it's interesting. Now, which one do we want here? I'm going to take this one. Earth Angel, and speak your truth. I see where this is going, I think. Nectar of life. Now I want this one at the top. Now, that's pretty interesting. That's awakening. And in the booklet, it actually talks about the opening of your heart center has allowed this energetic shift to happen within you, or is happening right now. So a super relationship card in an indirect way. Wow, you guys. Okay, I see where they're what they're talking. Deeper look. All right. And I'm going right to the bottom here. Freedom. Okay. I think I really do understand what this reading is. Okay, so if we take this top row, we say that's like higher lessons, higher learning, higher understanding. And this row down here is in the physical realm. So these are more things that you're actually doing versus learning and integrating, right? And the very first card we have that like threw itself out into the reading is the Earth Angel card. And I know that you guys who follow me regularly have seen this one quite a bit. It comes out a lot. And it's because, you know, you guys who follow my readings are very spiritually based. You're very directed in your spirituality and your spiritual path and being the full expression of who and what you truly are. And with that Earth Angel card coming out, it says not only that you guys are the sensitive bunch, you know, sensitive, intuitive, knowing, feeling, that sort of thing, but that you're here to be in service. And it never fails to amaze me how with this card, the energy that comes with it is there seems to be a lot more trials and tribulations to get to that point of really doing your work out here in the world. Not for all of you, but for the majority of you, for sure. And that card is saying that, you know, one of your biggest things is about your purpose. And with the Earth Angel card, I need to stipulate that this is very much a people person card. And even if you don't consider yourself a people person, like I do not, I am not a people person. But in my life, it's important that I am connecting with other souls because what I do makes a difference for them. And I hope that by using an example outside of yourself, it will help you to see that in some way, somehow, you too are meant to connect with other people, each in your own unique way. But what they're saying, I mean, this is matters of the heart. They're talking about relationships here, right? And the one that sits right next to it is the Speak Your Truth. So, well, you know, a lot of the times the relationship readings, they are talking about, you know, your workmates and your besties and your life partners and things like that, or whoever you're dating and seeing. But I feel like this one is talking like you guys are one level up from that. Like whatever's happening in your regular relationships, that's going to be managed. But there's one relationship that you haven't fully embraced, worked out, however you want to put it. And that's your relationship with spirit and the world at large. The card that sits right next to it, that came out right after it, is the Speak Your Truth card. And I mean, this is all blues and violets. And violet is, you know, the highest chakra. And it's integrating that voice, your communication, your words, and not holding back what you have to say. And I feel like part of what they are really talking about is here in the realm of what you're here to do. It's almost like holding yourself back. I remember I had a client one time who said, no, I can't, do the work that she wanted to do because she believes that in some previous life she had been punished for it. And I understand what she's talking about, but with you guys, I feel like whatever your reasons for holding yourselves back, valid, whether they're past life, this life, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where it stems from. What matters is that you overcome it to let yourself out in the world and to begin to connect with other people. Like to not have fear about sharing your truth, that the people who are in your life already, will they accept you when you come out with, this spiritual stuff? It's going to be different, the reasons why you're holding back for each of you. But that Speak Your Truth card is saying that it's vitally important that you begin to express yourself a lot more authentically as a soul. That's going to make a big difference in how you are seen and received out here. And I'm going to say, because this awakening card came out, that you guys are aware that you have a strong purpose and a strong need to connect and share your gifts with other people and in the world. Because that awakening, it almost looks like a sun, exploding open. And that's kind of what they're talking about here, is this awakening. But literally in the booklet, it talks about the opening of your heart center has created this awakening, like intuitively, energetically. It's almost like the ultimate shift in a full awakening. And I would have to say that you guys are pretty aware of, whatever issues that you're dealing with personally, and working through them to get yourself to that place where you are really allowing yourself to connect out here in the world. And the reason I say that is because we have the Deeper Look card. And this is almost like this circle has been cut out and we're looking into the inner circuitry. Like this is almost like the wiring, a microscopic view of the wiring. And this is talking about your wiring, how you're wired, and really delving deep into your own processes, into your own psyche, into your, I feel like I need to say that it's about what is holding you back and taking a deeper look within yourself as to why that's happening, and coming through it. But I feel, like I said, I feel like you guys are working this process. It's not, I'm not doing this reading saying, you guys need to, this is already happening. I feel like you guys are not afraid of looking into the shadow aspects of yourself so that you can grow and evolve. I feel like that's a huge part of your path, and you do that naturally and willingly. Because down here, it's in the physical, like they're talking about you actually doing these things in your life. And we have the Freedom card, and this is another card that makes its appearance often. And it's this nautilus or seashell. And it is literally talking about coming out of your shell, like letting the world see you, being your own sun in the world. And I mean, freedom to allow yourself to say what you need to say, to express yourself fully, and to not hold yourself back anymore, because it's not serving you and it's not serving the world that you're holding yourself back, right? It's time to really flourish and let yourself out there into the world, to be connecting with people. I need to say this because of that deeper look, to be connecting, because it's in the physical and this is in the spiritual, connecting with people in a much deeper way, in an authentic way, where you're emotionally, mentally, and energetically present with them, and allowing yourself to bring through that communication that's so necessary. Okay. The other card that sits here is the Nectar of Life card. And this one is like honey. It's about enjoying the sweetness in life. And there's this, this hesitation. I guess I don't know any other way to describe the energy. This hesitation of holding yourself back isn't really serving you, because when you really let yourself out, let yourself fully shine in your life, there is so much more waiting for you guys. There's so much more of the goodness, the sweetness. And I feel like it's about just letting the past be the past and moving forward into, things that you can't really believe would be possible in your life based on your current circumstances. Now I'm going to pull just one or two other cards from, this is the Czech language translation of the Path of the Soul cards. Synergy Publishing put these out. So I just want to take really quickly, let's see what Nurturing Universe, Creative, oh my goodness, Past Lives. Okay, that's funny, because I made that analogy before I pulled these ones, that a client of mine had been talking about feeling held back because of things that had happened in previous lives. And then we have this card, which is, these are like theater masks almost, and they trail down, and it's talking about, of course, events and situations that have happened in past lives that is influencing your current day reality. So I do want to encourage you to look at that to see if that is a part of the story for you. And this is also talking about the connections that you have with people that are actually, like soul families, soul group, and connecting to these people that you have this soul agreement with to connect with them. We all kind of sign up to help each other out in different ways. And so I feel like you signed up to help out quite a few people in a particular way. And it's about overcoming fears from the past, from past lives, from this life, and making that connection to these people that you are meant to be connecting to. And Nurturing Universe is there. So I have to say, with Nurturing Universe, that one is talking about that fulfillment where, you're having your needs met. And I feel like they're talking about a richer fulfillment happening here when you allow yourself to connect on this deep, intimate level, on an intimate way, with these souls that you're meant to be connecting with. Like it's time, it's not about holding yourself back anymore. And then we have the Creative card, Creation. And this is talking about you creating. And I feel like that is relating a lot to this Earth Angel work, because there's that, it is like manifesting energy, but it's the creation of something new, that full life force that is creative within yourself. It's, it falls very much in alignment with the Awakening card, with that opening of your heart that you guys have been working on, like opening your heart to be here in the world. It doesn't just affect only your heart, it affects your intuitive abilities. It affects your creative flow. So there's a whole lot of juice, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of creative collaboration that could happen here with other people, that, you know, you do some sort of work with other people, maybe not on a constant basis, but an off and on basis. It'll be interesting, but you guys are definitely already on your way to doing that. I hope you liked your reading, and if you did, please do hit the like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I am so grateful you're here. I want to say thank you. I love you, and I'll see you again next week. Bye. Hello, group 2. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick our bowl over there. Okay, so I feel like I need to give it a little shuffle, so let's do that. Little shuffle, and then let's start pulling some cards. Okay, group 2, what do they need to know? Matters of the heart. What do they need to hear about relationships, Spirit? And I feel like I'm gonna take that one. This one has not made an appearance in quite some time. This is the self-talk card. And I love that card. Okay. Next card. Happiness. This one. Celebration. Creative. Now that's interesting. Two worlds coming together. Okay. The grid. Okay. I think I see what's happening here. And the empowerment card. I know exactly what your reading is all about. Now, it's interesting because, yes, what they are talking about will have a direct influence on the relationships that you are having right now. But what Spirit is talking about here is your relationship with yourself. Because the very first card that comes up here is the self-talk card. Now, this is like lips, and this is a mouth, okay? And the teeth that are in this mouth are pointing backwards, like they're going inward. They're these sharp, chomping teeth going into the cosmos, the center, which is like the center of you. And what that card is talking about is how you talk to yourself. It is literally about, it's calling you out that you are saying things, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, that are not the most loving, self-empowering, self-encouraging type of words or energy that you could be giving to yourself. And you're saying things and having an attitude or something towards yourself that you would never say those things or be that way to someone else in the real world who you love. You would never say that, but somehow you make a great exception when it comes to yourself. And this, like, Spirit is literally calling you out. And I find, like, a lot of times that self-talk is talking about, you know, the voices that still live within our psyche, within our consciousness from the past. And, you know, it can be, yes, of course, from childhood and the voices of, you know, parents, caregivers, teachers, whatever. But with you guys and the feeling that I'm getting with this, it feels like what's that word? Like a conglomeration of voices. Like I feel like you've got a lot of living characters back in here, and it all just kind of, their voices individually all merge into this one big negative voice that still lives inside of you and is still going at you, nattering at you. And Spirit is saying, like, those teeth are biting back in on you. You're biting back in on yourself, and it's literally holding you back. And so they are saying that the most important relationship, the most important matter of the heart that needs to be addressed here is your relationship with you. That's what needs to get healed first. Because the card sitting down, if this is up here, is spiritual lessons, learning and understanding, and down here is in the physical. So meaning more of what's actually happening in the world itself. So, with this being up here in the spiritual realm, they're saying that, like, this is one of those big lessons that you have taken on board as a soul in this lifetime. And it's one that you're here to conquer, to overcome. And I can see from the cards here, this is something you will succeed at. You will overcome this. But with the grid card, I know that it's can be difficult to see all of these patterns that are in here. But it's like sacred geometry. And it's talking about the energetic patterns. Like in the booklet, it's talking like about the grid system of the earth and that sort of thing. And I feel like this is talking about the energetic patterns, but within yourself. And it's also about connecting to the grid, connecting to the greater, to the whole. And I feel like they're saying that this is one of the obstacles that's really preventing you from connecting out here more intimately with people in the physical world. And it's a master number 22. So the number 2 is a relationship number, the 2 people. And it's a master number. So there's a lot of challenge. There's a lot of work in getting there. But this is about building relationships. And so I feel like relationships for you guys have been pretty prominent in your lives, that these interactions that you have with people can be, I feel like, that intensity, and you tend to turn it back in on yourself afterward. But this is talking about you coming to that place to be able to really connect with people in an authentic way, energetically, and the sort. And so with this empowerment card sitting right next to the grid, it's saying that it's through your own empowerment, where the self-talk card is saying you're doing everything but empowering yourself. You are doing this to yourself when you need to bolster yourself and become your own best friend, right? I just want to, okay, I do have it here. I want to get the booklet because it's the way it's said in here. Okay, I'm just going to skip. Through your own willingness to stand tall and to be all of who you and what you are meant to be, you naturally vibrate a dynamic energy that has a positive and empowering effect on others. Through your own acts of self-kindness and self-love, you are giving yourself permission to shine in a gentle, loving strength. And that is exactly what I've been saying, that this whole reading is about you guys in your own empowerment journey, soul lesson. And that through that, you are, through learning this, and I know it's tough. I know how hard it is. It's giving you what you need to empower yourself to, the polar opposites, because it's a world of duality. And through this learning, you are learning how to love yourself and treat yourself with the utmost respect and kindness. And that true empowerment is a part of what you impart on others just from being around you. As you continue to work this, just the energy of being around you, others will feel it and sense it and go, geez, I like how their energy feels, like they're so just here and present, because you've let go of all the past stuff that is keeping you from being present here with all the judgments running around in your head. And that is a part of you really connecting into the world. Like this empowerment that you are, journey that you are on, is to connect it and bring it to other people. Absolutely. Like it just cannot be any more clear to me in that. And like these two cards here, we have the happiness card, and this is like this big golden smile, and this celebrate card. Like you have literally the two happiest cards, like joyful. Oh, sorry, this is called joyous. I'm calling it happiness. It's called joyous. And so I feel like they are really saying that, your deeper lessons here are to really flip this around, that your life is meant to be joyful, to be living a path where you experience joy and you follow your joy. You follow your joy and you look for the things that bring you joy and that help you to bring joy to others, because your reading is very in others also. So with this creative card, I need to say, one of the big messages with this card, it's talking about you being creative in some way, being that creative spirit or soul, whether you really are doing the arts, like painting and dancing and singing, or you do other type of creative work. It talks about in the booklet, literally, that it's about you living your joy through your creative expressions. And you have the joyous card up here. Like I couldn't have put these cards together better myself, but it really is like, if you look at the self-talk being directly on top of the creative card, so that is suppressing this creative flow that is within you. And this creative ability that you have, these are gifts that you are meant to bring out into the physical world. You are supposed to be, and you probably already are or do in some way, or have a feeling and a knowing that this is the direction your heart needs to go. But it literally is talking about you finding your joy, living your joy, experiencing your joy, and that becoming what your world is focused around. So what an empowering reading. Wow. So I just want to pull a couple cards from the little mini, this is the Czech version of my Path of the Soul cards. So I just want to pull a couple little supplemental, it's almost like a 2-level reading here. So let's say we'll take, and then we have the work card come out, which is, it's literally talking about your work, your creative work. Creative has 2 circles up and down, and this is 2 circles left and right. So it's getting yourself balanced, and this self-talk is your key. It's your key. Learning to be your own best friend. Cosmos of the heart is literally about following your heart, right? That there's almost like owl eyes in here, and those owl eyes are talking about this innate deep wisdom that you guys have. You guys are really old souls, and that's revealed. See, there's something, see, okay, I get it, because this whole reading is saying follow your joy. You got to stop doing what you're doing to yourself. You've got work to do. You've got people to connect with. You are here to empower yourself, which will empower others, whether directly or indirectly. The work card is saying that your work is the most important thing. And they talk about this balance in the booklet. It talks about the balance between work life and play life. And a lot of the times when it comes up, you're just way too serious and way too focused on the work. And it's like, whew, lighten up, like laugh and play and celebrate and suck up the juice and the joy in life. But they're saying that your work is also this one area where you are the hardest on yourself in whatever way, and you'll know for yourself. And then Cosmos of the Heart, well, it's about following the heart, which we've already talked about in those. And then the Revealed. This card is saying that there's a whole nother level to life that you haven't quite gotten to yet. You know, like you're like in your little Super Mario going along on level 22 right now. And as soon as you beat the big boss, the self-talk, the big boss on this level, there's a whole nother level when you level up that hasn't even been revealed to you yet. So I feel like you guys are just seeing the tip of the iceberg as far as the full potential of what your life is really has here for you, and the richness of all that it has to offer. With the Celebrate and the Joyous card, it just keeps backing it up. I couldn't have put these cards together better if I had planned them out. So I just want to really encourage you to keep on with the inner work that you're doing. It's really, really important. That empowerment card talks about being sure to take that quiet time away to connect, as well as connecting into your heart and the self-kindness and self-love. So give yourself that balance between the work and play and connecting to spirit and connecting out in the world. Like, you need to get your balance on here, guys. So if you liked your reading, please do hit the like. It really helps me out. I appreciate it. And I want to tell you that I love you, and I can't wait to see you next week. Take care. Hi, group 3. Nice. So, you know, if you chose these jingly chimes, that kind of sound helps to break up negativity or things that are in our energy fields that can be affecting like our mental health or emotional health and things like that. So I just thought you would find it interesting if that's why you chose that, maybe. Okay, so what does group 3? Matters of the heart. What do they need to know about their relationship, spirit? What do they need to know? Okay, this one. I want this one for sure. Archangel Michael. Boy, Michael likes to make an appearance in these card readings. So, yeah, okay, I'll get into him in just a second here. And we have reflections. Now there's another one. Maybe it's this one, I think. Balance. intuitive arts guide. Receiving. Or gratitude, sorry. Shining star. Okay. Just taking a minute to get the story behind this. So first, you know, we have to talk about our Archangel Michael card. Like, this is a big hitter here. So, you know, when this card is showing up, it's saying that, you know, we call on Archangel Michael when we feel like we need protection, when we feel like we need help, that we don't quite have a situation under control. Like, Archangel Michael, please help me, blah, 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 protect me. And Archangel Michael is also who we call on when we need to help energetically sever ties, or sever energy connections. So that doesn't always mean I need to remove this person from my life. For some of you, in some of the situations, it's going to be a hard, resounding, yeah, you know you need to. But for others, this is talking about the energetic cords that we have connected to other people. And so I have a feeling like there's some relationships that have that, a little bit of that energy drain going on with them. They could be a little bit codependent, or they aren't really emotionally healthy and balanced. And you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about here. But I feel like this definitely is not new. This is old stuff that you guys are dealing with. And we have the reflections card. So with this card, it's here, I'm just going to bring it up closer. So it's kind of representing the inside, our inner world. And this is like the wall of our inner world. And there's all this water reflecting it, and it's pouring out. It's draining out. And that's like a releasing of water represents emotions. And so it's like the releasing of old emotions. And I feel like they are talking about some of these more perhaps tumultuous relationships that you have experienced in the past or are still experiencing today. Now, these cards up here are our spiritual lessons, learning, higher understanding, that sort of thing. So this is something that you guys have come in this lifetime to experience, to learn, and to overcome or to heal. And with that reflections card, it tells me that you've been you know, this might be too strong of a term, but like have gone through that dark night of the soul, having that heaviness happening in your relationships. But there's a really beautiful aspect to this card. And it's that through that kind of just retreating from the world and taking that time for your own inner space to reassess yourself and your life and to go through your process of releasing, you know, crying your tears and going through that process. It really does bring you this profound, deep understanding of why these things are happening, how these things are happening, and how to kind of step forward in your life in a way that's different than what it's been in the past, as far as the way that your relationships have unfolded. Because I feel like for most of you, this is like a lifelong thing. Like, dang it, how come I cannot find a friend who is loyal to me? Or I can't find a partner who is loyal or faithful to me? You know, it's going to be different for each of you what the pattern is. but the story of how this is unfolding applies to the whole group. So the other card that we have up here is the balance card, and it's got the yin yang going on. And with that, it's all in red, and this is talking about getting grounded, right? So this retreating sort of feeling that is coming with this reflections card. It's like, okay, you've had your time to process, and it's time to rejoin the world. But it's time to rejoin it in a different way. And this is in a balanced way, in a grounded way, where there's a balance in your relationships. There's a balance within yourself from retreat time and out in the world time. And it's a balance of, because it's yin yang, the balance of the feminine and masculine properties. So like in relationships, you might tend to always take on the more masculine role of directing the relationship or initiating everything in the relationship, or you flip to more of the feminine aspects of always taking a submissive stance to your partner, right? Like it's going to be different for each of you, but you'll know which of those two energies you have a tendency to fall in. And so they're saying that one of your higher lessons this lifetime is learning how to be in that really balanced place where you aren't just leading the relationship all the time, but you aren't standing down and acquiescing to your partner all the time either. Or I shouldn't say partner, because this can be work, intimate relationships, friendships, the whole kit and caboodle, that this is happening in your relationships. So, because I feel like Spirit is kind of talking about them all. So if this is up here in the spiritual realm, what we have going on down here is in the physical, like what's happening out here in the physical world. And right above that Archangel Michael card is the Wisdom Guide card. And I always see this as like, this is a person's face, like it's more like a spirit person with this crown of energy on top of the head. And this looks like two hands almost like going like this. And what the Wisdom Guide card is talking about, first I want to point out that it's an 18, and 1 and 8 equals 9. 9 is the completion of a cycle. And what is the completion of the cycle? Of these kind of relationships. So in the physical world, they're telling me that you are coming to that point where you're kind of done having those kind of relationships. You've been doing the work on healing yourself to do it. And now you have the Wisdom Guide, meaning that this higher knowledge, this higher understanding that comes through living these kind of experiences and going, okay, what the heck is causing me to have these kind of relationships? And it says like, you've been doing your work is basically what it's saying. And that through that you've gained the knowledge, the understanding, like how you contribute to having this happen in your life, or what is living inside in your mind that creates these beliefs that continue to draw those kind of relationships into your life. And this is saying that there's a different way that you are going to be or are. So it's going to be different for each of you, that you're dealing with this stuff now, that you're really operating from this much more in alignment with your higher understanding of what is really going on, why your world was looking like that or is looking like that, and that through that knowledge, there's a big shift happening here, huge shift. So out of that reflections card, down below it is the gratitude card. And I feel like it's saying like that they're saying that you've come to that point where you're able to see the blessing in the challenge, that you understand that each person, no matter how much of a they have been, that ultimately they were bringing you to a place of greater understanding, of true spiritual understanding of yourself and the world. And that gratitude card is talking about a huge shift in you, that, you know, this is energy out instead of that really heavy energy that they're talking about with the reflections card, that it's you've paid your dues sort of thing, and now you're coming out of the tunnel into the light, back into the world in a much more healthier way, where you're like, thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, people of my past, you know, thank you. Or those relationships are altering because of your shift that you've been doing. And that tells me that there's a lot more joy coming up here for you in your relationships. And then we have the shining star. Like literally, this is a big, beautiful star, but that tells me, like, you know, in one way, not to be cliche, but like that you are the shining star of your life. Like you get to be the star of your show now, instead of someone else always being the star of your life show, you know, because people can take the spotlight in our lives in a good way or a bad way. And they're saying that this is about you in a really balanced, healthy way, really stepping up and allowing yourself to be seen and heard and expressing yourself. Like, just think, shining star. Shine bright like a diamond, right? So I feel like there's a lot of encouraging, loving energy here from Spirit coming through, saying, good on you. You've been doing the work. You're coming through it. And look at this. There's so much good. And I feel like there's so much good that you guys have to share back out in the world. That shining star, which is about you really allowing your light to be seen in this world. So you've come through the hardship and the lessons and the learning to now be really, truly authentic to who and what you really are. I'm just going to grab a couple supplemental cards. That's from the Czech translation of the Path of the Soul cards. Synergy Publishing publishes those. And let's see, what else, guys? What else can we tell Group 3 about their reading today? Tears. Okay. That is the cleansing process that I was talking about. And I said you're coming through the end of that. And this is talking about a purification that happens through the releasing of your tears. It's like it's the next step, really, of this reflections card, like going within and having that release, this kind of a release, so that you've kind of let it go, you've cried it out, you've released the emotions, you've released the negativity. Remember I said to you that these charms break up negativity in your etheric field. And this is talking about the physical happening of the releasing of that. So I knew there was a reason why you guys chose that. Yeah, I've got to take this one. And we have Red Native. And that tells me that's about you getting really much more onto your spiritual path. Red Native, these are like totem poles. They look like totem carvings. Here in BC, there's tons of totem poles. And Red Native card is about walking the red road, walking your spiritual path, living it, being the expression of the higher principles and truths. And a lot of the times when we're stuck into these crazy relationships or unhealthy or toxic, whichever the right word is, we really end up getting sucked away, and we react and behave and say things that are really not true or authentic to who we feel we are inside. We're just in this response of and they're talking about you really returning to that place. This is so much more balanced and grounded. Like, look at all the red showing up in here. And then we'll take our last card. Nice. Okay. So with this card, this is talking about a creative project of some sorts coming up here for you, which is unexpected. I wasn't expecting that because we're talking about relationships. But this has a lot to do with, there's writing involved, a creative project where you are really expressing yourself. And I feel like they're kind of talking about you getting past this stuff and then really being your authentic self out here in the world. And I wouldn't be surprised if whatever this is, whatever that is, you know, you're sharing a lot of your life learning in it in some way, either directly or indirectly. But wow, you guys have a really beautiful change coming here in your life in a way that's really empowering for you. So if you're still stuck in the muck of it, I hope you get the encouragement to just continue working your process and working yourself and doing the healing that you need to do, because you are heading down a really beautiful road. Really beautiful road. So I hope you liked your reading. If you did, please do hit the like and subscribe, because I have lots of awesome more readings coming up. So I just want to tell you, I love you. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you again next week. Take care.